internet is awash with creepy and unsettling videos that make your heart thump and your skin crawl. It's nature's way of balancing out all the adorable cat videos. But some of those videos are just a little bit too scary. Some of them are just a little too dark. We hope you have somebody with you right now, because if you don't, you might just regret it. In the bedroom. In this first clip, a woman is simply trying to enjoy some sleep, but things take an unexpected and creepy turn. As we can see from the security camera in her bedroom, it all begins when the door develops a mind of its own, swinging and bashing. It's not long before the woman is woken up. Notably distressed and confused, she pokes her head into the corridor, trying to catch a glimpse of what's going on. Is somebody in the house with her? From here, things only get creepier. Lights flicker, things move. The panicking woman grows visibly panicked and unsettled, grabbing her phone and frantically typing. But there are no Ghostbusters to call in the real world. Whoever she's trying to contact may not be able to help her. How would you feel if this happened to you? The coldness washing over you in the middle of the night. Faint scratching at the wall disturbing you in your sleep. The easy to scare may want to grab a friend before we dive into the rest of this list. Things only get scarier from here. Don't be alone. On the menu. In this British restaurant, security cameras caught something unsettling and odd. Pay extra close attention to the woman at the bottom left. After dining alone, she gets up and leaves the restaurant. But shortly after she has left, things get truly creepy. First, a napkin oddly shuffles. It's nothing major. Strange? Yes. Scary? Not so much. But it's only the beginning. First, one chair moves, then another. Then a menu, plate, and cutlery are thrown to the ground with a crash. A poltergeist having fun? A ghost throwing a tantrum? The wicked meddling of a witch? What do you think? There's an argument to be had that this is nothing but a fake, perhaps with CGI. But if it's CGI, why do the people in the restaurant notice? Not one, but two desperate women both turn around upon hearing the plate crash against the floor. No matter what your theory, there's no denying that the plate definitely hit the ground that day. Because what else did the women hear? Why would they both turn at that exact moment? So, the other theory is that this is still a fake, but one that was practically achieved. Those naysayers suspect that everything is merely being pulled by strings. That's why the women turned, because the plate did hit the floor. It's certainly possible, but we think there is something far creepier at work here. Watch again as the woman walks away. Look at how she walks and where she walks. She very clearly steps through where the string should be if it's there. She does so without hesitation, making clear there is no string here. If string were done, she would either pull the plate down in that moment, or she would need to step over it. But watch her steps. There's no clear sign of her being cautious to avoid string. Something very, very strange happened this dinner time. Man under the bridge. A fun road trip in the night soon lost all sense of amusement. This group of guys found themselves lost for hours. One of them, finding it funny, filmed the ordeal on his camera. He soon would not find it as humorous. Drifting through the darkness, the car found itself frequently lost to shadow. There were no other lights for miles around. Just when they thought it could not get any darker, somehow it does. Despite thinking they're driving straight, they find themselves constantly coming up to the same signs, over and over. It's easy to think they were just lost, looping round and round in their confusion. But what if something spiritual was at work? What if a ghostly intervention was constantly sending them back? What if unknown forces from the spirit realm kept gently pushing them back to where it wanted them? Bam! The lights go out. But it's not the darkness that's terrifying, it's the light. For once the light roars back on, mere seconds later, the boys are shocked to find themselves somewhere entirely new, and something is waiting for them. A man. And he's far from benevolent. Within seconds, he's chasing them, frothing at the gums like some kind of rabid animal. He gives chase. Ravenous. Who is he? What is he? Did he catch them? What happened here? Proof of the paranormal or a hoax? Whispering ghost. Exploring this abandoned house, camera in hand, this group got far more than they bargained for. What they were expecting we don't know, but what they found simply has to be paranormal in nature. If it is a hoax, it is so subtly done it would take pretty good analysis to notice. Either way, grab your teddy bear. This is an uncomfortable one. At first, they are alone. There is no danger. Sure, it's a creepy environment. The absence of light, the derelict surroundings. It's not a soft play center. This is not a pleasant place to be, but at least it's not too troubling at first. Suddenly, there is something. Cutting through the macabre atmosphere comes a clear sign that things may be far worse than they expected. From the distance, they hear a strange, scratchy whispering.
Hold on, you hear that?
They inch closer, trying to find the source of the noises. Who is it? What are they saying? It repeats over and over like a broken record player. They never find the man or woman doing the whispering. They never know what truly happened. The hushed words seem to be coming from within the walls themselves. Someone lost and lonely is reaching out to them, calling. Though they never find the source of the mysterious whispers in the night, they do get close enough to hear what is being said, and the chills they felt in that moment will no doubt be with them forever. They heard 3 little words, repeated over and over. Pray for me. Shadow in the hallway. Like many people before him, Adam Morrison was convinced his house was haunted. For 10 whole years, he claimed to hear strange noises constantly. The paranoia was eating away at him. The fear was now part of his very being. He couldn't sleep, suspecting something was there with him. He needed to know. He needed answers. So, in 1992, he decided to finally act on his decade of suspicions. He set up a camera on a tripod in the hall of his house and left it be for a short while. His plan was to watch the footage back to see what it saw. Considering this was long before the masses could get their own hands on pretty decent VFX software, everything contained within the frame really happened. A strange, darkly translucent creature emerges from the back wall, like a shadow with no matching human. It lingers briefly before continuing on through the hall. Watch as it slinks its way around Adam's home, almost like a tiger or lion on the hunt. It's the gentleness with which it moves that's so unsettling. No need to run. No need to charge. Whatever this thing is knows it can take its time in tracking down its victim, because it knows, no matter what, it will win. The girl in red. What makes this next clip so unsettling is that it is over 20 years old. This family were on holiday together, trekking through the mountains. One member of the family booted up the camcorder and captured what should have been a beautiful family memory. Watch as they walk by, one by one, waving to the camera and smiling. Sadly, tragedy struck. Shortly after returning home, one of the family members mysteriously died of an illness none of them knew he had. Luckily, they had the memories to get them through it. They had the video they could watch to alleviate their pain, but it did no such thing. Watching the footage back creeped them out to their very core. Firstly, the face of the deceased was notably different to how they knew his face to be. Things were already strange, but that was nothing compared to what else they discovered. There was a young girl in their party. A young girl in red, who none of them knew. She was not part of the family. None of them knew who she was or had seen her on the day. Yet there she was, following the group, with a dark and serious look on her face. Was she not of this world? Did she have a role to play in his sudden death? The footage was shown on television, and soon members of the public rang in, many claiming to have had their own run-ins with the little girl in red, all connected to the sudden death of loved ones. Since then, the girl in red has become a hugely popular, albeit terrifying urban legend in Taiwan. There's even a film franchise based on it called The Tag-Along. If someone took a photo of you right now, we should be lingering behind you in the frame, in the corn. Sometimes it's unexpected noises and movements that freak us out, but sometimes the strangest things are a lack of sound, a lack of motion. What's creepy about this clip is how the supposed paranormal creature seems to do nothing but linger. Take a look if you dare. A YouTuber was chatting to his camera as he drove past a cornfield when he suddenly spotted something chilling. A child in a long, dark cloak is lingering among the corn. No noises, no sudden movements. Its porcelain-like face merely staring off into the distance. Who is this child? The face in the basement. These two girls decided to go exploring in a strange, creepy, and long-abandoned basement. They must have known the footage they were about to capture would be uncomfortable and fear-inducing. But did they expect this? The room is dark and derelict, piles of junk swallowed up by long, angular shadows. With so many nooks and crannies, there's 1,000,000,001 places where troubling things could be hiding just out of sight. They seem to be enjoying themselves, until they open what looks to be a small cupboard. There, looking right back at them, almost as if he's watching their very soul, is a strange and vacant face with bright, glowing eyes. How would you react if you stumbled upon an unexpected face in the darkness? Is there one in the room with you now? An old classic. Some videos that appear to show paranormal activity of some kind are well known, having done the rounds for years. These old classics are some of the most unsettling videos of all, because after years of theorizing, people still have no idea what's happening. This clip starts out innocuous enough. One girl is having fun while another films her, but things take a spine-chilling turn. At the top left corner of the door behind the dancing girl, for all but a split second we see a glimpse of a face. Luckily, the girl with the camera spots it and races to the door confused. As she spins the camera to look up the stairs, she sees it in full. Some unknown woman, wrapped in a dirty white dress, looms down on them from on high. The girls scream in panic, fearing for their very lives, racing out of their house and getting themselves to what they hope is safety as fast as they can. The most baffling thing is how the woman leapt from the bottom of the stairs to the top with such speed. That's no natural movement, factory interference. This late-night security footage from a factory seemingly captures evidence of the spirit world. One worker is seen going about his business and all is normal until things go down a darker path. After finding a door won't fully close, he leaves it, presumably suspecting it of jamming. But pay close attention. A close look makes it clear that a ghostly figure is jamming the door open. But to what end? What is it? And perhaps more importantly, what does it want with the factory? What damage could a ghost cause if it got its hands on heavy machinery? We don't want a literal ghost in the machine.
Haunted house creature. While exploring an abandoned house, at least 2 people were recording, and they couldn't quite explain what they saw. It appeared to be what looked like a goat standing in the corner, but when you take a closer look at the creature, there's no way it's a goat. You never know what you're gonna run into when you're out filming in the middle of nowhere, and especially at an abandoned house. A lot of people like to use abandoned buildings to practice rituals and satanic seances, so you have to be especially careful when you're exploring these areas. The video isn't very long and cuts off not long after seeing the creature, but we can see in plain view what appears to be a goat with only 2 looks. It doesn't appear to be looking directly at the people filming, but it could be looking in their direction from a side view. It's not quite clear what exactly was seen in the video, and some people think that it's just a rocking chair or something that resembles a goat that's been worn down. However, this doesn't look like an inanimate object, and it also doesn't look like anything from our world. Could this simply be a toy that's been left behind? The Phoenix Lights. The Phoenix Lights have been a topic of discussion for a long time, at least 2 decades now. Over Phoenix, a lot of people have been reporting that they've seen some lights that seem to move in unison and seem like they're all part of one spaceship. It would take a professional group of jets to make lights move in the manner that these lights do. However, these same lights were spotted recently over Peru, and no one has an explanation. One cameraman, who we don't know the identity of, is filming over the skies of Peru when he suddenly sees some flashing lights in the sky. This is nothing out of the ordinary, but as more lights start to show up, he knows something isn't right. These aren't your standard lights. These are the same lights that people have seen all over the United States, known as the Phoenix Lights. They're usually in a group of anywhere from 4 to 7 lights, and they all seem to have the same level of brightness, distance, and they all move in perfect unison, to mean that they're all probably attached to one object. However, what kind of aircraft could be that large that would produce lights like that? Some people also think that it's some kind of SpaceX experimentation, but there haven't been any aircrafts built by SpaceX like that that can produce those kinds of lights, and the first time the Phoenix Lights were seen, SpaceX wasn't even a thing.